Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, Bitcoin price gets $36,000 FOMC target as Bitcoin prints a 29% October gains as we enter Moonvember. Send it and let's go. Also in today's show, quoting Max Kaiser, Bitcoin is up over 100% since my interview with Daniela Cambone 9 months ago. Gold unchanged. I wish I could sugarcoat the truth, but the harsh truth is Bitcoin is demonetizing gold. For every $1 move up in gold, we'll average a $20 move in Bitcoin. Preach. Also in today's show, that's fraud, says prosecutors in closing arguments at the Sam Bankman-Fried trial. I'll be sharing the latest updates with you here. Also, Coinbase launches a regulated crypto futures service for U.S. retail traders. That's right. Also, PayPal scores UK crypto license after a brief local Bitcoin buy halt. I'm also going to be sharing with you Invesco Galaxy spot Bitcoin ETF joins BlackRock officially on the DTCC site. And speaking of spot Bitcoin ETFs, Fidelity revives their Bitcoin ETF app. I'll be breaking this down for you. Also, they recently published a report explaining 10 reasons why you should consider buying Bitcoin. This is a pretty big deal considering it's a $4.5 trillion asset manager with 43 million investors trusting Fidelity. I'll also be sharing their $1 billion Bitcoin price prediction. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. And welcome everyone to today's episode. This is podcast episode 1448. I'm your host JV, and today is November 1st, 2023. Be sure to smash that subscribe button so you can get on-screen recognition, and be sure to hit that like button as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. I want to give everyone a quick shout out in our live chat. Massive shout out to the moderators first and foremost. We got Streamlabs, we got Bitcoin Maximus, we got Digital Dankness. Shout out to Jeff S. He says a spoonful of Bitcoin pump sugar helps the orange pill go down. We completely understand those feelings precisely. Good vibes, fam. Shout out to Greg Miranda. JV, let's pump this mofo party to 35,000. Send it. Let's go. Shout out to Passive Income AI. Nice to hear Fidelity is preaching Bitcoin to buy. That's right. And they started accumulating Satoshis on the low many years ago. I think it was all the way back in 2014. So they've been bullish on Bitcoin behind closed doors for a long time, just like the rest of them. What up, Satwise Jenks in the building? Shout out to the fam. Huzar, welcome. Appreciate you tuning in. Always a pleasure. Shout out to the rest of you guys. Will Stop Sun versus Guru. We got Dutch Hodler. Let's go Bulls. We're in control. That's what's up. And it's Moonvember officially. Happy first of the month. November 1st. October did not disappoint, to say the least, but this bullish trend is only just getting started. So let's kick off today's show as we do each and every day with our market watch, shall we? Let's check it out. As you can see here, we got Bitcoin up 0.4% for the day and in the green, currently trading above 34,500. We have Solana, one of the biggest breakaways in the top 10. I believe it's up now 16%, trading just under 42 bucks. And checking out, again, I say when in doubt, zoom out. So forget the performance for the past day. Let's check out the performance for the past week. We're up 2% for BTC, a little stagnant, but nonetheless still a gain. And if we check out the performances over the past month, here's where things get exciting. You can see October absolutely didn't disappoint. 23.5% gains for the King Crypto, 5% gains for Ethereum. But notice Bitcoin clearly leading the pack, minus Solana. Solana's up 75% for the month. Good Lord. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com, the current crypto market cap sits just shy of $1.3 trillion. So it's also on the rise with roughly 45 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance took a little leap back, currently at 52.5% after tapping 53% earlier in the week. And we have the Ether dominance at 17.1%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, Near Protocol leading the pack, up 16.5%, trading at $1.52, followed by Solana up 16%, trading at above 42 bucks, followed by QTUM up 13%, trading at $3.47. And let's just check out these market caps for a second. Let's check out the 24-hour volume. Tether is leading the pack here. Holy moly, it looks like 34 billion. If I'm pronouncing that number correctly, it gets a little confusing when you see so many repetitive commas, but I think that is correct. Followed by Bitcoin with roughly 19 billion in volume, which is roughly 550,000 BTC. And checking out crypto bubbles, we can see the top performers in the crypto market for the day. Massive green. We love to see this. That means the altcoin market is currently pumping. And if we switch it over to the weekly, a lot in the green. We switch it over to the monthly, massively in the green. We check out for the yearly. We got some major gainers in the market cap plus the week. We can still see Bitcoin in the green. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index, we're currently rated as 66, same as yesterday in greed. Last week a 72, and last month a 50, which is neutral. So there you have it, crypto fam. Massive shout out to $0 G Row. I appreciate the super chat. He wrote, shout out to all the mods and to the fam. What's up, JV? Can't participate today, but still listening. Let's freaking go. Well, I appreciate the love. Much respect. I believe Moonvember is just getting started. I'd love to see us surpass not only 40, but retest that $50,000 level. I believe we can do that before the end of this year. But what are your thoughts, fam? I believe there's so many bullish catalysts in the market right now as we head into 2024. Around the corner, Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin ETFs lined up. You got about a dozen applications on the desk of the chairman of the SEC, Gary Gensler. And we also got to consider the supply shock. A very limited number of Bitcoin currently on the exchanges with massive demand. When there is massive demand with a limited supply, prices tend to go up. Yeah, that's what's up. Guys, Smokey, let's go. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Australia. Shout out to all my cats in the UK. Be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from. This is a live and interactive show, so I expect you to interact with me. It'll make it that much more fun. What up, Abel Gonzalez? He says, bring it. 50,000, send it. Bad Sunshine, let's go for the all-time high. You already know. I love price discovery mode. There's nothing more exciting in the market. That's when we eclipse the previous all-time high, which is currently sitting at 69,000, which we achieved all the way back in November of 2021. On board from Clearwater, Florida, pump BTC. You got that right, DCA. My old stomping grounds, let's go. Shout out to John316 over in Canada. Did you guys check out my JV Reacts yesterday to Alex Jones and Max Kaiser for the quiz for the 10,000 BTC? If so, let me know your feedback on that. That was lit, and that was uncensored exclusively on Rumble, just FYI. Shout out to Robert Brady. I appreciate you. Relaxing and meditation music. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's kick things into high gear and look into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts where the King Crypto is likely to go next as we continue the pumpage into Moonvember. Here we go. Check out this chart on the 1 month. Bitcoin has seen its highest monthly close since May 2022 after October delivered almost 30% Bitcoin price gains. Imagine Moonvember, another 30%. Just saying, be prepared, fam. Data from Cointelegraph and TradingView confirms the Bitcoin bulls had successfully held to the upside into November 1st. You damn straight. After navigating the choppy mid-month trading environment, hodlers were treated to a finale similar in character to October's initial breakout. Monitoring resource CoinGlass thus put October as the second best performing month of 2023. Bitcoin gained 28.5%, trailing only January's 39.6%. So overall, it's been a hell of a year, over 100% year to date. You know what I mean? Reacting, we had Blunts. What a great username, by the way, cautioned over discounting what amounts to a high time frame weekly range breakout, quoting him here. I believe the current one will be akin to the October 2021s and the April 2019 one, he wrote on X. And in both scenarios, Bitcoin entered a new bullish phase with straight upside lasting several months as outlined here in these charts. Shout out to Blunts. Now, striking a similar note, fellow trading personality Mustache eyed the TK crossover indicator for a rare bull market trigger. TK crossover, it gets the name from a trading signal on the Imichioku. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And it involves two of its trend lines. We have the Tenkin Sen and the Kijun Sen produced a once in a cycle full flag at the monthly close. close, as he shares here on Crypto Twitter. And on a slightly more conservative note, we got on-chain monitoring resource, material indicators suggesting the bullish momentum, while still present, is waning compared to last month, as he shares here. Still waiting for a retest of 33,000, although we may not see it until after an attempt at 36. I'd love to know your thoughts. Meanwhile, volatility remains on the menu for the market participants, with the week's main macroeconomic event due later in the day. This comes in the form of the U.S. Fed announcing its interest rate policy amid a testing inflation environment. Let me know if these numbers came in yet, fam. Now, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is going to deliver this speech and hold the conference. So I am curious, did this conference take place? And if so, what are the numbers? Please let me know in the chat. And according to the latest data from the CME Group's FedWatch tool, the odds of that eventually currently lie nearly at 98%. And commenting on the potential knock-on effects for the Bitcoin price action, Crypto Tony shared the following: more volatility and more movements as the talk begins and the data is released. I personally expect a pause and no hikes, so I expect we see a $36,000 hit on this data following a fake out down first, he added, joining calls for a tap of the $36,000 mark. And now let's share some thoughts from Max Keiser. How many of you watched that interview he did at the end of last year with Stansberry Research, Daniela Cambone, and he was predicting Bitcoin targets and talking about gold? And lo and behold, he reminds us here, Bitcoin is up 100% since my interview with Daniela 9 months ago. Gold, unchanged. I wish I can sugarcoat the truth, but the harsh truth is Bitcoin is demonetizing gold. So for every $1 move up in gold, we'll average a $20 move in Bitcoin. Preach, fam. He also, when he was interviewed with Alex Jones on the Alex Jones show, he recently made this prediction as well. All fiat money in gold eventually goes to effectively zero against Bitcoin because it's demonetizing gold. The same way gold demonetized silver, Bitcoin will be demonetizing gold, and it is in real time. So sure, gold will go to maybe $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 an ounce, but we're talking about Bitcoin eventually going to $5 to $10 million per coin. So your purchasing power in gold terms is almost basically nothing compared to what's happening in Bitcoin. That's right, because Bitcoin is the apex predator, and all commodities, all assets, and all fiat currencies eventually go to zero against BTC. So there you have it, fam. I'd love to know your outlook for the Bitcoin market now that we're in Moonvember. Let me know your thoughts. How high do you think we're likely to climb for this cycle? Let me know, fam. Shout out to Jack Jiang. I appreciate you. Also, 220,000 is the short-term target Max Keiser says is currently in play. Could you imagine we hit this target like pre-Bitcoin halving when everyone least expect it? You know what I mean? Maybe some of y'all are anticipating that as a cycle peak, but just saying, anything can happen, so be prepared for all scenarios. Shout out to Baz Dragon. Appreciate you, man. Fairground in the building. JJ, what it do? I appreciate y'all. Managed more or less to catch the top of the pump. Very satisfying. Well, congratulations. Either way, you're stacking sats for the long haul. It's going to be a fantastic ride to the moon. Let's freaking go. Shout out to BN. I appreciate you tuning in. Greg, what it do? Thank you, JV, for what you do for the community. You're very welcome. And we're on the cusp of crossing 34.7 as we're pumping. Let's go. Jeff S has $157,000 Bitcoin in 2025. I'm all for that. I think realistically that would be conservative, but hey, it's still six figures. I think if I had to give a range for the cycle peak by 2025, I say on the low end, conservative, I'd go at Max Keiser's short-term target of 220,000. And for the high end, I think we can go as high as 500,000. What's your thoughts? Statwise says, I know Solana will outperform Bitcoin at points, but I sleep well at night. 100% in Bitcoin without trading it. I lost 3 to 4 Bitcoin in the last years, betting on everything to XRP, Litecoin, Link, Ethereum. I feel you, dog. Sometimes the safest horse in the race, as Paul Tudor Jones said, is Bitcoin, right? It has the least risk and you're most unlikely to get wrecked. Altcoins will leave you wrecked if you're not careful. You know what I mean? Bitcoin is pumping today. Let's hit 35,000 during the show. That's what's up. If we can break 35 and continue pumping, we'll do like another 12-hour marathon Bitcoin watch session like I did a few days ago. That was kind of lit. It was was all through the night. I think I kicked it off at midnight. We called it Bitcoin Midnight Pump Party. Maybe we'll do another, but I want to break 35. The current local high for the year is 35,200. So what are we, roughly $500 shy from that number? Bitcoin can do a $500 move just like that. You know what I mean? Chris says 130 to 220,000. Excellent targets. Send it. Let's go. Smart Sat Wise says, Dankness, I still use alts for trading and Bitcoin for stacking, but not everyone has my risk tolerance. That's what's up. We all have different risk tolerance. 100%. Good point. David says, Bitcoin has no counterparty risk. That's what's up. Now that's funny, says, I'll be happy with 250,000 in the next 2 years. Won't we all? It's going to be a hell of a celebration here in Puerto Rico at the $100,000 fiesta. If you're going to be coming, let me know. I guarantee you it will be lit. You were naked. Well, not fully naked, but I had no shirt on at midnight. Please, come on. I didn't mean to show my camera. I hit a short key shortcut on my keyboard, and then I'm like, I'm exposed. But that was hilarious. I felt like kind of like a deer in headlights. I'm like, oh my God, I'm streaming with no shirt on, but who cares? I'm a dude. I can have no shirt on. I can flex those muscles. The original is always best. Thank you, Dobby. J-Dub said, what up, Crypto News? What up, JB? Just got back from Vegas. I am ready to mine more fiat to buy more Bitcoin. I'm with you on that. Let's freaking go. Yeah, that wick gonna candle stick. Let's go. JB, what's your rule of thumb for taking profits? Honestly, I just hodl for the long haul. I'm not all for taking profits because I'm in it for the long haul. If I'm looking for a short-term gain, then it would make sense. Maybe you need a profit, but you know what I mean? I work, I produce an income, and I'm not living necessarily off of what I have accumulated. So I just continue stacking. So my philosophy is a little different. I just continue adding to my position, which we call stack and sats, DCA, dollar cost average. My goal is to just have more Bitcoin than I had the previous month, have more Bitcoin this year than I had the previous year, have more Bitcoin today than I had yesterday. And if I can follow that simple strategy and hodl and have the patience, life is good. So very simple. Andy Surfer, let's freaking go. But all right, fam, let's break down our next story of the day. Did you know the SBF trial has officially ended? And here were the closing arguments shared in the court with Sam Bankman-Fried. I can't wait to see the updated pictures with the new do. They say he finally cut the fro. You know what I mean? SBF trial entered the final stages with the prosecution delivering closing arguments in the case on November 1st, which is today. Closing arguments are the last opportunity for lawyers to convince the jury and the judge that they should win the case. Prosecutors had previously estimated that their closing arguments would take up to 4 hours, and right after, Bankman-Fried's defense also presents its closing arguments, quoting them here, that's fraud. It's stealing, plain and simple. Before FTX, there was Alameda, the assistant United States attorney reportedly told jurors, presenting one of the many charts the government used as evidence. The former CEO of FTX is facing 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy to commit fraud. Bankman-Fried can serve up to 115 years in prison if convicted and if he doesn't get pardoned by sleepy Joe Biden. Just saying. A jury of 12 will decide his fate in the coming days. And as part of the prosecution's case against Bankman-Fried, nearly 20 witnesses have testified that he allegedly deceived investors, customers, and partners of FTX while commingling funds with Alameda Research. Quoting them here, the defendant set up 2 separate ways. You believe even one of the 3 cooperators, the defendant is guilty. An unlimited line of credit just means unlimited money from FTX. Ellison told you he directed us. Gary Wang said the same thing. The defense, on the other hand, tried to present Bankman-Fried as an entrepreneur who just made some terrible mistakes, but in good faith, denying the accusations he directed his inner circle to make political contributions. As we know, he was the second largest donor to Biden's Democratic Party. He also had venture investments and the purchase of luxury real estate with customer funds. That's right. His parents were profiting tremendously off of that real estate in the Bahamas. Now, Bankman-Fried's defense faces a tough challenge in persuading the jurors, I'd say that again, that he is innocent of the charges, as the government presented extensive evidence, including testimony from the officials and law enforcement agents involved in the case. Here's what they shared. The defendant marketed the liquidation engine, saying FTX was safe. He told Congress collateral must be placed on the platform itself, not just pledged. But the secret rules allowed Alameda to borrow billions without any risk being liquidated. That's right. They were stealing your funds, fam, stealing your crypto. Sam Bankman-Fried's trial had been taking place in the Southern District Court of Manhattan since October 3rd, and we should be getting a verdict here in the next week or two, so I'll be keeping you posted with the latest updates. Now for the million-dollar question. What do you think will become the outcome of all of this? Obviously, he's going to have to face some consequences if he is found guilty on just one of the 7 fraudulent charges. But how do you feel it'll likely play out? Do you think they may place the blame on the executives that testified against him, like Gary Wang and Caroline Ellison? Or do you think Bankman-Fried is going to take the blunt of this sentence? Let me know your thoughts, fam. I'll start reading them out loud. SBF will be in jail for life. I mean, if he is found guilty, that's what the law says. You know what I mean? He bought some lingerie. What? Lingerie time with Maxine Waters. Yuck. Throwing up. That's right. Wasn't Maxine Waters like, she's like a judge as well, right? Wasn't she blowing kisses? I seen footage of this. She's like, Sam, I love you. I'm making that part up, but you're incredible, Sam. I love your afro. The extended funds are going out with FTT tokens used on FTX to decrease your trading fees. That's interesting. I also heard a rumor that they're going to be relaunching the FTX exchange. If they were to do that, how many of you would feel comfortable ever using that scam exchange ever again? Even if they rebooted, I'd have even less faith, obviously. I mean, I think it's insane. But hey, we're above 34.7 and we're continuing to pump towards 35, so let's keep it moving. As predicted by The Simpsons, points out Davy. Word up. Broken money fuels a broken system. There is zero time. Good point, David. He is going to take the blunt end of something. Word. FTX 2.0? No, thank you. I don't think anyone would touch that with a 10-foot pole unless you're just crazy. What do you think about Cardano? And something else, but I can't read. It's cut off. It reaches the time again. I'm not a big fan of Cardano. I've never really been a holder of Cardano, so I don't have a lot to say about it. I'll be honest with you. I know it pumps a lot, like typically around the time XRP pumps, and XLM, which is Stellar Lumens. I know it's a banking coin, and Bitcoin is like enemy of the banks. You know what I mean? It's like there's banking tokens and there's Bitcoin. There's CBDC tokens and there is Bitcoin. There is no in between. That's just how I feel. But anyways, I appreciate all those smash likes, fam. What up, Dub Proof? Solana, I mean, it's the biggest gainer for the month. It's up 70%. That's massive. But I'll be honest, I'm not bullish on Solana. Once we discovered it was being used by the venture capitalists and Bankman-Fried for scamming purposes on the FTX exchange, I lost all respect for it. And yeah, I just felt that way. I feel like a lot of tomfoolery is going on with the project. But then again, I don't have any insights. I don't know any of the developers. I don't have any inside information to share with you. So it just is. KJam says, saw the video pop out on my YouTube feed this morning. Word up. Titled Self-Custody to Become Illegal. Oh, we're going to talk about that later. Senator Elizabeth Warren wants to make self-custody of your Bitcoin illegal. She said this in Congress. I actually have a clip, and later in the JV React session on Rumble, exclusive on Rumble, we do JV Reacts uncensored. I'll be reacting to the audio clip of Senator Warren suggesting this BS, which we know is nothing more than FUD. They were using Bitcoin too. What up, $0 Giro? Yeah, FTX was stealing your Bitcoin. Here's how the fraud would work. You upload your precious Bitcoin to the FTX exchange. They immediately offload it to Alameda, and then they stole, aka borrowed, as they claimed, your funds and then never paid it back. And I believe the reason we didn't pump to 100,000 in November of 2021 was they were dumping it. They were suppressing the Bitcoin price. Bankman-Fried, it was shared that anytime the Bitcoin price surpassed 20,000, they would be dumping all their Bitcoin on the open market. And who knows if he was colluding with Gary Gensler? Who really knows? It's all speculation, but an interesting story nonetheless. All right, fam, now let's discuss the latest updates with Coinbase in the United States launching some future services for retail traders. Here we go. Coinbase advanced allows retail traders in the U.S. access to regulated crypto future contracts 4 months after Coinbase Financial Markets secured the approval to operate a futures commission merchant entity. So why is the regulators and the SEC allowing all of these future products but no spot ETF? Something sounds fishy, wouldn't you agree? On August 17th, the CFM secured regulatory approval from the National Futures Association, a commodity futures trading commission designated of self-regulatory organization to operate a FCM and to offer crypto future services to eligible U.S. traders. And by a show of hands in the chat, how many of you have used Coinbase as an exchange? And how many of you are familiar with Coinbase Advanced? Let me know, fam. And in details shared with Cointelegraph, the CFM revealed that Coinbase Advanced customers in the U.S. can now trade nano-sized future contracts sized at 1/100th of 1 Bitcoin. Interesting. And 1/110th of 1 Ether, as explained here by Andrew Sears, the CEO of CFM. Quoting him here, these contracts offer lower upfront capital requirements and can be an affordable investment option for a broader range of retail customers. Now, the Nano Ether contract allows participants to manage the risk, trade on margin, or speculate on the price of Ethereum. The Nano Bitcoin contract allows users to bet on the future price a BTC. And in addition to providing regulated, leveraged, and cash-settled crypto futures, users will be provided access to a library of educational content via Coinbase Learn. U.S. residents with an active Coinbase account for spot trading are eligible to create an FCM futures account. How many of you even trade futures to begin with? Let me know. The services have been launched on the web version and will soon be available on all mobile devices. Coinbase's decision to launch crypto future services seems natural as the exchange witnessed a sharp decline in spot trading volume this year compared to 2022. Now, an analysis from digital asset provider CC Data showed Coinbase registered roughly $76 billion worth of spot trading volume, a 52% drop in spot trading for Q3 of this year compared to the same period in 2022. So despite the decline in spot trading volume, Coinbase gained market share in the last quarter as the crypto exchange Binance came under increased scrutiny from regulators. So there you have it, fam. I'm curious. Let me know in the chat, out of all the crypto exchanges out there, which one has your trust? Which exchange are you most likely to use? And shout out to Digital Dankness. He just released a video the other day on the top 5 crypto exchanges in the United States, and he even breaks down fee-wise which ones have the lowest fees. So I would encourage you all to check that out over on CoinIQ. It's a great video. Personally, Coinbase, we all know, is the largest crypto exchange in the United States. We know Binance is the largest crypto exchange in the world. Other big candidates to check into would be Gemini, which is owned by the Winklevoss twins. And then we also have Kraken, which is an OG crypto exchange. And now there's a lot of other options and ways to buy and, acquire BTC and stack sats. You have the Cash App. You can now do so on PayPal. I don't trust PayPal as far as I can throw them. You have Swan, but there's a lot of options now, which is cool. Nathan Roth points out Strike. That's another great way to buy some BTC. Shout out to Jack Maulers. Yaheem Stone says no futures. Amen to that. Futures will get you wrecked. Futures is for the degens or the very advanced traders that like to risk a lot and have a high risk tolerance. If you don't have a high risk tolerance and you don't like gambling, and you don't consider yourself a degen, I would just stick to the underlying asset. You know what I mean? Eddie says Bitcoin is pumping. You damn straight, because we live. That's what we do. You know what I mean? 34,800 incoming. Let's see if we can get the 35 Gs before the end of the show. That would be lit. I agree, Jack. I don't trust CZ either for some unknown reason. Hodl and Chill says Dutch Hodler. You got that right. Nelda, what it do? Exchange only is good for buying Bitcoin and moving it to cold storage, or trading your altcoins for Bitcoin is another reason to use an exchange, right? JV, thank you so much for all your efforts. You're a great hero. Thank you, Young Ryu. Again, Ryu was my favorite Street Fighter growing up, so much love, much respect. Hayukin! Strike is for the OGs, only for the king. BTC. That's right, Nathan Roth. That's what's up. You are crazy. Thank you for the compliment. Is Kraken non-KYC? No, unfortunately, all the major centralized exchanges require KYC. It's just the reality. You got to check into some decentralized exchanges, DEXs. That's where you can get away with no KYC. You know what I mean? I'm back, people. What up? What up? Welcome back, Cherry Young. Appreciate you. Give me 37.2 right meow. Send it, fam. Let's go. All right, guys, let's dive into our next story of the day. This is breaking news coming out of PayPal. They just started offering UK investors, or they just got their crypto license in the UK. So investors in the UK will be able to get Bitcoin from PayPal soon. Global payments giant PayPal received the approval from the Financial Conduct Authority to offer crypto services in the United Kingdom. How many of you are in the UK or even in Europe? Let me know in that chat. According to the official data, PayPal has been registered to offer certain crypto asset activities in the UK since October 31st, 2023. That's as of yesterday, fam. So this is brand new. According to the register, PayPal has requirements or restrictions placed on the financial services activities that it can operate. Quoting them here, this includes, but is not limited to, seizing, onboarding new customers and restricting existing customers to hold and sell functionality. The firm cannot expand its current offering in crypto assets, the register notes, adding its including but not limited to crypto exchange services, participation in initial coin offerings we know as ICOs, staking, peer-to-peer exchanges, and decentralized finance activities such as lending and borrowing. PayPal reportedly became the fourth firm to receive the FCA's crypto registration in 2023 after Interactive Brokers, Bitstamp, and Kamanu. The license acquisition comes shortly after PayPal briefly paused the ability for its UK customers to buy cryptos like Bitcoin in early October. That sucks. Right now, I guess you guys couldn't buy Bitcoin, but all that looks like it has changed. The United Kingdom has been noticeably emerging as a major crypto economy, and according to an October 2023 report by blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis, the UK is the biggest crypto country in terms of raw transaction volume in Central, Northern, and Western Europe. And according to the study by a crypto tax platform Recap, London was the world's most crypto-ready city for business in February 2023. Wow, I didn't know that. So it seems London is very crypto-friendly, or at least moving that way. And another sign of that is this license that PayPal has received for the people in the UK. How many of you have ever used PayPal to purchase Bitcoin? And how many of you ever plan on using it in the future to purchase Bitcoin? Here's my recommendation. If you're going to use them, don't keep it on their exchange. Not your keys, not your coins. So if you're going to buy Bitcoin from a place like PayPal, which is known to be a little shady, then just note, take it immediately and move it to cold storage, such as a Trezor device, a cold storage wallet where it is safe and secure. So again, I don't trust PayPal. I never have, never will. Not my recommendation to buy Bitcoin from them, but it is a great sign for mass adoption because PayPal, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I read they had over 400 million active users. They're a major player and just an easy way for people to be buying Bitcoin. So bring it. The easier it is to buy Bitcoin, the higher the price becomes. 10 years ago, very difficult to buy Bitcoin, hence why the price was so high. But it's becoming easier and easier. The easier it becomes, the higher the price goes. As you can see, we continue to pump. Eddie, what it do, guys? I'm long and got my money where my mouth is. Love to hear that. Long live the king. Michael Morris, I would not buy Bitcoin with PayPal. Same sentiment. I don't trust them either. I think you guys are much smarter than that. 36,000, here we go. Send it. Demonetizing, you already know. Is Trezor Elizabeth Warren proof? I think so, Dub proof. Yeah, at least for the time being. Here in Britain, I use Coinbase and Uphold. Good to note that. Shout out to Michael Morris. Appreciate those insights. Nate says, like Gandalf said, it is safe. Is it secret, right? I deleted my PayPal account after the censorship BS. Remember that? Again, don't trust them whatsoever. But anyways, fam, let's keep the price pumping and let's continue with the news, shall we? Next up, let's discuss this new Bitcoin ETF filing, which has just taken place coming from Invesco Galaxy, another major asset manager. Check it out. The ticker for Invesco and Galaxy Spot Bitcoin ETF is BTCO. It has appeared on the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation website, which for short we say the DTCC, marking a step forward in the application application process for the two asset managers. As you can see here in your screen, this shows you the Invesco Galaxy Bitcoin listed on the DTCC site. The ETF has been added to the list sometime in the last 6 days, with the web archiver Wayback Machine showing no listing under the ticker BTCO was present on October 25th. That means it was in the last week. A ticker added to the list of ETF products on the DTCC site is not a guarantee of future approval of the product, so keep that in mind, but we all know it's incoming. A DTCC spokesperson said it is standard practice for the DTCC to add securities to the NSCC security eligibility file in prep for the launch of the new ETF to the market. Quoting them here, appearing on the list, it is not indicative of an outcome for any outstanding regulatory or other approval process. I guess they have to share their disclaimers, right? Anyways, the application for the joint spot Bitcoin ETF managed by global investment firm Invesco and crypto asset fund Galaxy Digital was reactivated on June 21st, as pointed out here by ETF analyst of Bloomberg, Eric Balchunas. And now Invesco had reactivated their 19B4 for their spot ETF. So the move to relodge the app with the SEC came amid a tidal wave of similar filings for spot Bitcoin ETF products brought about by investment giant BlackRock, which we know is the largest asset manager in the world, lodging its landmark application for the spot Bitcoin ETF on June 15th. So there you have it, fam. Another one bites the dust. Hopefully it's like the domino effect. They all get the green light at the same time. But the million-dollar question right now, when do we get the approval of the spot ETF? And will it be all of them getting the approval and the green light, or will it be one and then another slowly after the other? And which one do you think will get the first mover's advantage? Personally, here are the top prospects. We got BlackRock, largest asset manager in the world. They kind of run the world, so there's a good probability of not only is their ETF approved, but they may get the first mover's advantage. Another one that has that possibility is the GBTC product, which is Grayscale. Their parent company is Genesis, because they recently won the lawsuit against the SEC, and I believe they're going to have to react and make a decision very soon. And so, who knows? They may have the first mover's advantage. They're already holding the underlying asset because their trust currently holds over 600,000 BTC, making them the largest hodler of Bitcoin in the world. Another prospect for the first mover advantage is ARC21, which is virtually Kathy Wood's company, because she says she gets the response first. They have the due date. I believe it is January 10th, which is the deadline for the SEC. So more than likely, one of them are going to get approved, and it could even be another one that I'm not even mentioning right now, or it could just be like, yo, they're all approved. And if that approval, wow, we're still pumping. We're about to hit 34.9. I should be doing a pump party right now. I'm excited if you can't tell, but we're about to break 35,000 in today's live. Let's freaking go. Yeah, Fairground, what up? Bitcoin's heading to 35. You already know. Completely just stole my train of thought. I think they approve all at once to appear impartial. I think you're more than likely going to be right, David, wrong, because it would make the most sense. And yeah, to seem impartial, meaning no favoritism. Cherry Young says, very soon. Send it. Eddie M, 35,000. Let's freaking go, says Boomer Rocks. Send it. Alex, Manchester, UK, using Coinbase. Word up. Shout out to my peeps in the UK. The SEC closed the door ETF meeting tomorrow. My gut tells me there will be an announcement by the end of the week, predicts StatWise. I'm also hearing, that's right, November 2nd is supposed to be a very significant day. A lot of rumors out there circulating right now on X and across social media that November 2nd, we may get that green light, like a big announcement on an ETF being approved. We shall see. That's like 24 hours out. Maybe that's why we're pumping right now. Maybe the market knows something we don't know, right? 34.9, let's go. We'll probably hit 35,000 within the next 5 minutes. Pump it up. Shout out to the Law Studio. Shout out to UFO Nut. Shout out to Andy Surfer. What it do, my crypto fam? I'm going to keep you on your toes today. Let's freaking go. All right, now let's break down our featured story of the day and discuss the latest from Fidelity, one of the world's largest asset managers. They control $4.5 trillion in assets under management. They have a massive amount of investors, something of the sum like 80 million million, something wild, right? Maybe even more than that. I got to look at the numbers here. Let me actually see here. It's actually, 43 million investors currently trust in Fidelity. So this is a major player, and their head of macro is predicting a $1 billion Bitcoin price target. Also, they just recently updated their Bitcoin ETF application as well. So let's break all this down. Welcome everyone in the live chat. Send that mofo above $35,000, shall we? And let's freaking go. All right, guys, here we go. Let's start right here. Fidelity revives their Bitcoin ETF. Let's break this baby down. ETFs, as we all know, are investment funds users can buy and sell on stock exchanges similar to individual stocks, allowing traders to invest in a variety of assets, including stocks, bonds, and in this case, the king crypto, Bitcoin. ETFs are designed to follow the performance of a specific index, asset, or a commodity. Bitcoin is getting more popular, as we know, and traditional investors and asset managers are eager to introduce Bitcoin ETFs to the market. We can't wait. Bitcoin ETF would let the investors get involved with the famous crypto without actually owning it. This makes it easier for traditional investors to join the crypto game. Now, Fidelity, the highly respected name in finance, has made a big move by updating its app. Fidelity's recent ETF update pays special attention to reducing the risks associated with Bitcoin ETFs. The crypto market is known for the price swings, which we call volatility, and Fidelity understands the potential impact on investors. Addressing these risks is crucial to making a Bitcoin ETF work well and last long. Now, the crypto community has been awaiting eagerly for the Bitcoin ETF to become a reality for years, to say the least. It's been over a decade, fam. Even though the US SEC had rejected previous apps, the desire for an ETF tracking Bitcoin remains stronger than ever. A Bitcoin ETF offers a more stable and regulated way for the investors to join the crypto world. If you're not familiar with ETFs, they are like investment funds, only this is what the big wigs use to get their positions into Bitcoin. I must point out as well, clearly, that average day-to-day investors, we don't need ETFs. We can just go on any crypto exchange and buy the underlying asset. This is for the big guys. This is for the billion-dollar asset managers. This is for the trillion-dollar asset managers. This is for the companies worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The companies that are unable to invest into Bitcoin without the protection of a regulated exchange traded fund. That's what this is for. This is going to usher in the big money. That $700 trillion total addressable market, that's what the ETFs are for. This is how the trillions sitting on the sidelines enter Bitcoin. Right now, the Bitcoin market cap is only freaking north of 500 billion. That's less, like roughly $500 billion. That's virtually nothing on the grand scheme of things. We're talking 700 trillion total addressable market, which Bitcoin is going to be tapping into. And my friends, that's why this is such a big freaking deal. Now, check this out. They recently, Fidelity, published research explaining why investors should buy Bitcoin. Here are 10 key points on why you should buy Bitcoin, according to Fidelity, the $4.5 trillion investment manager. First and foremost, Fidelity finds Bitcoin is the best money. That's correct. It's perfect money. Quoting them here, Bitcoin clearly possesses a lot of good qualities of money, combining the scarcity and durability of gold with the ease of use, storage, and transportability of fiat. That's right. It basically outcompetes all the competitors. It's like gold, but clearly much, much, much better. Next up, they explain the virtuous cycle of Bitcoin. Quoting them here, this Bitcoin network competition is likely to result in a winner-take-all scenario as the network grows and becomes more valuable. Guess who is the winner that takes all? You guessed it, fam. Bitcoin. More users and hodlers equals higher demand, equals higher prices, equals more miners, equals higher security, makes it more attractive, and the circle of life of Bitcoin continues. Next up, they point out, they compare Bitcoin to the wheel. Quoting them here in the report, the invention of the wheel represented an entirely new tech that once invented could never be reinvented. And similarly, never in human history had the problem of peer-to-peer electronic cash been solved until BTC. That's right, facts. Next up, Fidelity is amazed Bitcoin survived. Quoting them here, every minute, hour, day, and year the Bitcoin survives increases its chances of continuing into the future. People would probably underestimate all the negative events the Bitcoin has already endured. Preach. They also share, they provide hard numerical data showing how secure the Bitcoin network is compared to other coins, as they share here. In terms of sheer computational power required to alter the network's consensus, Bitcoin far exceeds any remaining proof-of-work competitors. That's right. And as the hash rate continues to go up, the network continues to adjust its difficulty approximately every 2 weeks and get stronger and stronger. And the more you attack the network, if you're silly enough to even attempt it, the stronger the network becomes. Next, Fidelity compares Bitcoin to the internet. That's right. The internet protocol suite, known as TCP and IP, is an open source based layer where apps on top of which to be built. Owning Bitcoin would be akin to being able to own the base layer of the internet. So if you want to own the frickin' internet, just buy Bitcoin. It's even superior to the internet, in my opinion. Next up, Fidelity writes, Bitcoin continues to dominate the market cap of all competing cryptocurrency tokens. It's the king for a reason, and the Bitcoin market dominance is on the climb. You already know what time it is. Once we surpass 51%, it's an official 51% attack on the altcoin market. I'm anticipating the Bitcoin dominance to continue to climb. Let me know how high you feel it could potentially climb for this cycle. They also point out and agree that Bitcoin is useful. It appears at this point that Bitcoin has found a role in the digital asset ecosystem as a scarce store value asset at the very least. Now, there's no competition because even Ethereum is no store value asset. They don't have a finite limited supply. In fact, if you look on CoinMarketCap, you'll see next to infinity, you'll see next to Ethereum the infinity sign, which means there is no max supply. So therefore, it cannot be used as a store of value, unlike Bitcoin. Now, they also share and conclude Bitcoin should be considered first and separate from all the other digital assets that have followed it. I agree with that sentiment 100%. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And to read this entire research study, check the show notes below the video in the description. But now we got to get into the moment we have all been waiting for and discuss this $1 billion price target by Fidelity. Shout out to $0 G-Ro. I appreciate the super chat again. He says, welcome all. Smash that like, fam. Thank you for the reminder. And yes, we're on the cusp of hitting 35,000. We're like $10 away right now. So send it and let's go. And let's hit a new annual high. Let's get this mofo lit, shall we? But yeah, now let's break down this $1 billion price prediction from Fidelity. And the year, FYI, by the year 2038. So if we're in 2023 right now, that's another 15 years. Could you imagine that? Let's break it down. Jurian Timmer, director of global macro at Fidelity, put forth the notion Bitcoin has the potential to reach a value of $1 billion per coin in the next 15 years, specifically around the year 2038. And to support the forecast, Timmer employed a combination of models and charts with a particular focus to the stock-to-flow model and his own demand model. These analytical tools form the foundation of his primary prediction. Now, here you can see on your screen, this chart employs Metcalfe's law. This is the demand model. And according to this, the number of its users grows linearly. A network's value grows geometrically. This means that the utility and adoption of Bitcoin are expected to grow more rapidly compared to its network of users, exchanges, ATMs, and participating retailers. Therefore, the model predicts that Bitcoin will reach $1 million by the year 2030. Now, this isn't so crazy. Stock to Flow is also anticipating a price prediction basically after the halving in 2024, somewhere between $100,000 and $1 million per coin. So this is right in alignment with that target. It's also right in alignment with Cathie Wood's $1 million Bitcoin price target by the year 2030. So let's continue, shall we? So in contrast, Timmer's stock-to-flow supply model notes the event of significant price surges during each halving event. Consequently, when considering this model in conjunction with the other factors, it foresees a price range of $1 million to $10 million per Bitcoin by the year 2030. So again, the target I just shared of $1 million, they can see 10x that target by the year 2030. I hope they're right. Now, Timmer's demand model is more inclined towards reflecting the bottom of the Bitcoin price. And on the other hand, the stock-to-flow model seems to provide the better approximation for the peak of the king coin. However, it's worth noting that the disparity between these two models widens significantly significantly beyond the year 2030. The reason behind this gap is expected to be the changing value of the dollar. That's right. You got to take that into consideration. Now let's discuss how changes in the dollar could influence the Bitcoin price action. Timmer proposes the value of the dollar undergoes fluctuations over time when compared to other assets. For example, it was if a dollar was invested in stocks in the 18th century, its present day value would be roughly $4 billion. Good Lord, hyperinflation. Similarly, Timmer implied that if $1 million is invested today, it can grow to $1 billion in just a span of 20 years. This further revealed that the purchasing power of the dollar significantly reduced due to factors like inflation and depreciation. Thus, Timmer's statement implies that keeping a fixed amount of dollars for many years may lead to reduced purchasing power due to the assets changing value. And over the last few years, an increasing number of companies are taking over that $1 trillion market cap. You know what I mean? It's actually quite interesting, and I actually want to discuss this really quick. As I shared in yesterday's episode, we talked about Max Kaiser being on Alex Jones' show, and Alex kept joking that Max, he's like, I know, Max, you have over 1 million Bitcoin. Now, if you just run the math, just for fun's sake, 1 million Bitcoin times a value of $1 million a coin, let's hypothetically say we're in the year 2030, Bitcoin hits $1 million. Someone's going to become a trillionaire. Someone is going to become a trillionaire. Whoever owns 1 million Bitcoin besides Satoshi will become a trillionaire. Right now, allegedly, trillionaires don't exist on the planet. I personally believe that the richest people on the planet we don't know about. They're not, in the public eye. They're moving in secrecy in the shadows, and there's probably families worth in excess of trillions of dollars. Easy peasy. But on paper, what do we got? We got Warren Buffett, we got Elon Musk, we got Jeff Bezos, and none of them are close to $1 trillion. But guess what? I think the first trillionaire will be a Bitcoiner. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And what are your feelings on a $1 billion Bitcoin price in which Fidelity is predicting by the year 2038 and the next 15 years? And hypothetically speaking, to all my Bitcoiners out there and all my hodlers, how would that change your freaking life? A $1 billion Bitcoin. Let me know, fam. Shout out to Satwise Jenks. He says 35,000. We did it, and we're still pumping. 35.1. Let's go. We're only $100 away from price discovery mode for the year. Bring it. DCA says no futures. It's a great way to lose your funds. 100%. You're on the money. Bring Facts says the Rothschilds are worth an estimated 3.7 trillion. Facts. I know they're worth in the trillions. How many exactly? Speculation. I don't know, but you're on the right track there. eBank says Bitcoin is pumping again. You got to love it. We bring out the best in Bitcoin, fam, and we do it together. So congratulations, y'all. Holy hyperinflation, right, Boomer Rocks? More extras for the Honda Element. Word up, relaxing. Can I buy Bitcoin now? You sure can. It's actually a great time to buy it because it's roughly at a 50% discount, but it's not going to be for long. You can pay $35,000, get a 2-for-1 deal today, or just wait a few months and chill. Let the institutions stack their sats, and then you can buy it later at an all-time high of above 70,000. The choice is yours, crypto fam. What up, Ahmed? Yes, you can buy Bitcoin. In fact, I encourage you to do so. Go to your favorite exchange and get some, stack some sats. 50,000 income in this year. You already know, Eric. Bring it. Cherry, isn't this lit? You gotta love it. Let's freaking go. 35,000 says Guy. That's right. We achieved it. We hit our target. We got to set our targets higher. You know what I mean? 35 was easy peasy. What is that, a few $100 pump? That's nothing for the king. Don't let those big wigs take your Bitcoin. HODL for the long term. Says, now that's funny. Preach. Sage advice, fam. Yeah, let's freaking go. Wow. Pumping even higher on CoinMarketCap. Good to note. I mean, we may even be already at a new annual high on some of the exchanges. Every exchange has a different price for Bitcoin. That's fact. 35,000. Woohoo. Let's go. That's what's up. KJam, JV. How do I pay the IRS taxes on the major gains made of Bitcoin using self-custody and buying sats on DEXs without KYC? I personally, for a reason, don't give tax advice because I'm not an accountant, and I don't want to ever get in any trouble. I can't advise you there. Do your research. find a CPA that understands crypto, hopefully a Bitcoiner. Shout out to Rubes. I appreciate the subscription to the show. Much love, much respect. Eddie says 36,000 is incoming. I agree with you on that. No tax until you sell, period. Yeah, my understanding, and again, not tax advice because I don't understand taxes. That's why we have CPAs and stuff like that. But my understanding is it only becomes a taxable event when you sell. So if you're just a hodler, there's no taxable events. There's no capital gain because there is no realized gain. If there is a realized gain, then there's a liability. If there's no realized gain, yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. That's my understanding of it. Again, don't take that as the gospel, but that's how I comprehend the tax law. What up, OG Blockchain? Let's go. I think you don't. Word. Bitcoin and Canadian money is word. What is that? 48,000. Word. Yeah, never convert back to monopoly fiat money. Word up. That's why a lot of people use the stable coins. If you want to make a trade without it becoming a taxable event, keep it in stables. It's once you trade for USD or whatever British pound or whatever the fiat currency crap is, that's when you get screwed. You know what I mean? So don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Baz, you're on fire today, JV. Appreciate that. You know when the market's pumping, and you know what's crazy? I just took a nap before going live. So I just woke up to an alarm clock. Let's go. But now I'm all awakened, wide awake, because the price is pumping. You guys get me lit. You know what I mean? IRS Capital Gains says that if you hold an asset for 1 year, you could pay 0% tax up to almost $90,000 as a married couple, says StatWise. Sherry Young says that is correct. Well, yes, from the perspective from a trader, says relaxing. Word up. Let's freaking go, fam, says Boomer back. Send it. Bring it. So someday you should be able to get a loan on your Bitcoin and never pay taxes. That's right. You'll be able to borrow against your Bitcoin, 100%. Melda says, yeah, get paid gold rocks and monopoly money. Never sell, end their theft cycle. Preach. What up, Ryan? Jay tuning in consistently after the shout out. James from AI, appreciate your enthusiasm, facts, and channel and content. Market pump, let's freaking go. Shout out to Ryan Barr. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate that. JV is getting paid today. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm sleeping like a baby. Let's just leave it at that. What's up with the IRS? Equals finger, right? What McAfee said, he didn't believe in paying taxes. He said it was unconstitutional. If they can just print unlimited money, why do they need your tax dollars when you're just a struggling pleb? The game is rigged. It doesn't make sense, right? You feel me? Exactly. Buy dollar cost average and hodl. Borrow against Bitcoin in the future equals no tax. Ever. Sounds like you got that figured out. I Funai. Yeah, Ahmed says, I'm in profit, bro. Congratulations. Do you know more Bitcoiners are in profit right now, meaning more Bitcoin addresses are in profit than ever before in the history of Bitcoin? That's exciting. Well, I guess I take that back because when we hit the all-time high, I would say everyone was in profit, theoretically, but you see my point. I'm saying over consistent time. David, what up? Break on through. Let's go. We're about to test the annual high. We're heading to 35.2. So we'll keep the chat going. Typically I would end, but we'll keep it going a little extra longer for y'all on YouTube. We're also streaming simultaneous on Rumble. And when the stream ends on YouTube, we're all going to go to Rumble for the JV React session uncensored. And maybe we'll pump to 36,000 by that time. How's that sound? Shout out to Tough T. Shout out to Dankness. I appreciate y'all. What up, Coddle? McAfee, still alive for real. You have to watch the documentary about him. I don't know about that. It seems like they hung him in that Spanish prison. I firmly believe he did not commit suicide. I firmly believe he was whacked. And it's a tragedy. I miss McAfee. He was the first guest on my podcast. Did you know that? I did 2 interviews with the dude. Back when I only had like a couple of thousand subs, I reached out to him. It was on my bucket list. I said, I want to smoke a blunt with the legendary John McAfee while I interview him. And what did I do? I smoked a blunt interviewing John McAfee, and I crossed it off my bucket list. Rest in peace, McAfee. Thank you for giving me your time. Thanks for just being an inspirational human being and speaking your mind. I respect that. People who are honest and speak the truth. I love that. You know what I mean? JV is making the price pump. You already know how we do, Dankness. What's the Rumble link? It's rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net, or just go to Rumble, type in Crypto News Alerts. Can't miss it. What up, Fat Bass? Thanks, JV. You're welcome. De nada. Panic buy incoming, possibly. That's right. And quoting the great Andrew Tate, Top G, he said something along the lines the other day in a video. Right now, I would urgently be looking to buy Bitcoin. He said Bitcoin and Ethereum, but buy as much Bitcoin and Ethereum as you can. He's like, immediately. Why is he saying that? He knows the cycle is cyclical every 4 years. He knows we're entering the bull. He knows the biggest profits are made this time around. So 2024 is going to be lit. Long live the Top G. The Rumble link is down below. Thanks for the reminder, Melda. That's right. In the description, I always list all the links so you guys can easily just click. JV, ask a poll. Thank you for the reminder. We're supposed to set that up. Completely blanked and forgot about that. For tomorrow's show, we'll put a poll in there for sure. How many are not using cold storage wallets and why? That's actually a great question. So I'm going to take note of that, KJam. I appreciate that feedback. Bitcoin's on fire. New annual high. We just surpassed 35,200 and we're still pumping. We're still going. Let's go to 36,000. Let's send it to 40,000. I feel like I'm one of those people at one of those bidding things where you just bid into the highest bidder and somebody's going to win. And oh my God, we're still pumping. Let's freaking go. Yes. Let's go. New annual high, baby. Let's freaking go. 35.3 in the building. Yes. Boom. Told you so. Take that, haters. Let's freaking go. One time for Streamlabs. Shout out to Streamlabs. Doing a hell of a job. I appreciate you guys. Too much profit. Love you, bro. Congratulations, Ahmed. Congratulations, all the hodlers. Congratulations for those of you who believed in Bitcoin when no one else did. You deserve these gains. 37.2. Send it. Let's go. Kevin B, what it do? The Sharks are in a frenzy. That's right. Let's go. Let's get 500 people on the stream. We're at new annual highs. You know what I mean? Fat Bass, 1818. I knew it. Somebody stop it. Man, this is exciting. 420, 35.5. Holy moly. We're going to climb to 36. I mean, what's going to stop it? I think Bitcoin's just going to keep marching. 40,000 incoming. Moonvember, we're here. And again, October didn't disappoint, but Moonvember is here. Got to pump it up. Got to pump that up, says Tough T. Word up. Let's go. I'm up 0.15 on my long. Congratulations, Eddie. Hopefully that long keeps strong. Pump on the Bitcoin, JV. You know how we do, J Ivy. Every day. I knew it. That's my call, says Bring Facts. Let's go, says Dahlia. Appreciate that. McLovin, the bears are quiet. I think the bears are dead or they're hibernating without a head. One of the two. Now that's funny. Wow. Yeah. FOMO like a mofo. Let's go. 35,420 smoke. No, we're already past that. We're above 35.5. I think 36 is incoming. Damn, Bitcoin on the exchange is running low. Yeah, because these asset managers are buying them up. What happens to the price? We've been telling you this every freaking day. It's coming. Pump the coin, says JK. Up to 36. Send it. What kind of party when we hit 500,000? A hell of a party. A hell of a party. That just closed my paper trade at 35.5. Congratulations, Dankness. Light went up for the fellas for this pump. You already know Nick Lane. Celebration time. Celebrate. Let's go. And I'm going to stick around just for a few more minutes before we go to the JV React session on Rumble, just because we're at new unprecedented annual highs. This excites me. I know the chat is lit. I appreciate all the interaction. If you're gaining value out of today's episode, smash that like button. Don't be a stranger. It's the greatest compliment you can do to the show. And if you hit the subscribe button, you'll get on-screen recognition and an on-screen shout out. I'll shout you out as well. So what are you waiting for? Everyone watching should be subscribed. There's no reason to be watching the show and not be subscribed, because there's a lot of benefits to being subbed. You know what I mean? There's no resistance until 38. Well, send that mofo to 38, fam. Let's go. Breaking news. The CEO of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, has come out and says, we're going to continue to pump. Thank you, CEO of Bitcoin. The alts are taking a hit, though. When Bitcoin misses, the people will pull out and the alts will dump. Word up. subscribe. Thank you, Cody. Shout out to Cody Peterson. I appreciate the subscription. Long live the king. What up, guys? Appreciate the support. Dear Bears, RIP. Rest in peace. Yeah, that's what's up. Soon, all will be waiting for a pullback and be buying high. You know the name of the game. That's how the game is played. You know what I mean? But with that being shared, fam, I have a JV React session already planned for you guys. Uncensored crypto news alerts shall continue over on Rumble. So if you're watching the YouTube stream, head on over to Rumble. Support free speech on Rumble. Support crypto news alerts on Rumble. Live, lit, JV session, new annual highs. We're probably going to continue to keep pumping. I can speak uncensored. I can say what I want. There is no censorship. Do you understand the power of that? You know what I mean? So head on over to Rumble. Again, rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. I'll see you guys tomorrow on YouTube. Deuces, YouTube. See you soon. And congratulations on the new annual highs for Bitcoin. Long live the king. Peace. This is so freaking